Hey, what's up? It's Crafty Longsword, and today I've got a great video idea. I figured I could ramble about some bullshit and some frustrations that I have with the country that I live in and the society and culture that I have while drinking some whiskey with some whiskey stones in it, sitting outside in front of the lake, and maybe smoking a cigarette. Because, everything is kind of shitty. So, anyway, I've been irritated because, I don't know, sometimes you just want to have a frontier again. You just wish that you were in a time period where you could pick a direction that's away from cities and walk in it and not really have to give one single fuck about whether or not you encounter anybody along the way, because no one would have the authority to tell you what to do. But now we're kind of in a time period where people just get to push you around and fuck with you and tell you what to do, even though they're stupid. They're stupid. They don't know how life works. They don't know how money works. They believe irrational things, and they don't deserve any authority. They've been given so much authority that they can fine you $37,000 just because you've done something that minorly irritates them, or something that's an infraction on a rule that they've made out of a misunderstanding of the situation, like with a false identification of a wetland, somebody trying to build on that, somebody got fined $37,000 for that shit. That's insane. That's good. Anyway, I'm just sitting out here, and anyway, I've got some fucking Lucky Strikes. I've only got a couple left, because I've been smoking up a fucking storm. Well, I was smoking up a fucking storm before I got broken up with, but I kind of slowed down, because she was, kind of stressful and irritating. No, that's not actually true. She wasn't stressful and irritating. I was just being very, very indulgent, and that entire relationship was pretty much just pleasure seeking. So I thought, oh, if I smoke, who gives a fuck? I'm already indulging in sinful behavior. I might as well throw on something which is more ambiguously wrong than that, right? See how that wound up? Pretty much just where I was before I started, except I'm slightly more confident. Um, I understand the gravitas that I have over people a little bit better, and I have a couple less cigarettes. I wish I had a cigar or a pipe to smoke. It just seems like more fun. And especially with a pipe, it seems more traditional, and I'm a sucker for vague understandings of traditions. Bad or good, I'd rather have the traditional thing to do than the modern gay French thing. But yeah, so I think society is failing people because there's not any room for people to roam and enjoy themselves without being under someone else's jurisdiction. There's like nowhere in the world you can go where there's not going to be somebody bigger and stronger than you telling you what you can and cannot do or bring into that area. It's like I could spend a long time, and unless I got hundreds of thousands of dollars saved to pay for fines and personal shipping and a piece of property, I can't just like go out somewhere and figure out how to live for myself. There's no Wild West anymore. And if you try and go to Africa or something like that, everyone is so fucking belligerent and insane that you would only last a while before you ended up like the fucking Rhodesians did. Because if someone went out and actually forged their own society and did it right, they would get denied by the world because someone would just say, oh, these people are white supremacists because they don't let their retarded neighbors come in, regardless of whether or not it's the skin color of the neighbor that is the reason that you're not letting him in. Just the simple fact that there's a correlation between, oh, my neighbors are pieces of shit who don't know how to farm and don't know how to do anything useful, and so wouldn't be beneficial to my society, so I'm not going to interact with them, trade with them, or let them in. Well, you might trade with them, except, you're going to scam the shit out of them because they're stupid fucks. And they deserve it. Yeah, anyway, what I'm saying is freedom of association is something that is lost to people, and it's pretty abysmal. Not having the ability to say, I don't want to work with this kind of person. I don't want to share common goods with them, because the tragedy of the commons affects us all. Everything that is owned, like let's say we're talking about warmongers. Warmongers are the issue. And people who want to can all of our assets and resources as a country in favor of having more money for the government to fuck around in foreign nations. Okay. Let's sell national park property. Let's sell all this shit so that we don't have a place to roam anymore, even in a limited capacity, where you're not allowed to carry a firearm, where you're not allowed to get in a gunfight, where you're not allowed to stake your claim and own something. It's like even that little tiny bit of freedom and nature that we have available to us is just being managed by people who have no respect for it, no understanding of why it's good. They go out and they see the surface level beauty and they don't understand the beauty of what nature is. Nature is, like the Greeks would put it, it's chaos. It's something that can't be controlled. And the nature that we do have, in a sense, is unnatural, because the only reason it persists is because it is controlled. And so the average American has never encountered nature. They've never encountered a place that is not controlled by another person, a place that they need to be afraid of. The average American knows the fear of power, but not the fear of being unprotected. And it's just so sad, because you can't fight against the power every day. You can't put forth that level of effort that you would if you were in a natural situation where everything is working against you. It's like all of these institutions and services technically work for you, but they're trying to ruin you and feminize you and weaken you and make you miserable. So every gift they give is really a bad trade deal, maybe the worst trade deal in the history of trade deals ever, because you're trading your autonomy, your humanity, your manliness, or if you're a woman, you're trading your fucking dignity and value and worth, and your choice of who you're dependent on. I think for women, it's a choice of who to be dependent on. Are you going to be dependent on yourself? Are you going to be dependent on a man? Or are you going to be dependent on the government? Well, the government's consistent. They're always there. The government will never leave you, so you should just be dependent on the government. Fucking stupid. Inane. But that's the decision-making process, and that's the fucking women voting thing. If that's how you make your decisions, then the government's always going to get bigger, and people are always going to lose their rights, because the government is really your boyfriend, and your boyfriend should take care of you. Fuck. So anyway, nobody can call me an incel, because I'm not celibate, but what they can call me is an outsider, because even though I can have success in the dating scene or in the societal scene because I'm intelligent enough to forge my way through school, or someone who can get a job and be accepted in the workplace and in social environments, I don't like any of that. I think it's burdensome to be a part of, and when it ends, I'm not in a huge hurry to get back into it, except for the basic pleasures that it brings, like being able to buy more fucking ammo when I work, or being able to get my rocks off when I'm in a relationship. That's basically what I care about. So I'd love to be out on the frontier, a place where you only go into town if you need to see somebody, and you only need to see somebody if you need food that you can't get, to fix a tool that you can't make, or to get your rocks off. And that's just not the way society is now. You need to be around people all the time. You need to be constantly being stimulated. You need to be constantly being subservient to somebody else. You can't just say, you know what, I'm done. I'm going to try and gain some skills and I'm going to strike out on my own and be my own person and not have somebody else above me. It's like if you do that now, you're going to be homeless, and people who are above you are the government and cops who are going to be telling you where you can be and where you can't be all the time. Or you're going to be a renter, and you're going to have your landlord constantly busting your ass for an exorbitant amount of money, and your boss, who has control over you through your landlord, because you have to do what your boss says, as long as your landlord is the one who tells you whether or not you freeze to death every night when it's cold out, or whether or not you get fucking mugged when it's hot out, because crime rates are higher during the summer. So yeah, the erosions of basic freedoms kind of fucking suck. They're inane and abysmal, and anyone who has to deal with them on a day-to-day basis just gets ground down, but they don't recognize the grinding is happening. It's like getting fucked in the ass by a ghost. Most people just say, oh, I don't believe in the supernatural, so I'm fine, because this isn't really happening. But the truth is that it is happening. There's a ghost dick sliding in and out of your rectum, and you just... What? You don't believe in it? You don't believe you're getting fucked by the society you live in? You don't believe? Or you believe you're getting fucked by capitalism in particular? No, you're getting fucked by the erosion of your freedoms and by the fact that you always have to be subject to another man to move up in life. You can't just get your skills and go, and that's what I'm struggling with right now. I'm trying to go into the fucking military because I just want to get killing power, and I want to get surviving power, and I want to know that if somebody comes and they try and beat the fuck out of me, I'm going to be able to tell them no, and if they don't listen, beat the shit out of them to make them stop, because that's the basic thing that matters. It's like, everybody needs to at least be able to do what a caveman could do if they were put in a corner, which is fucking beat somebody up and get out of that pinch. And once you're at that level, you can start to try and survive when somebody's talking to you. But if you know that you can beat the shit out of somebody, then what does it matter if they say something you don't like? You can just be chill around them, because you know that if they were trying to act on it in some way that was insufferable to you, you could just fucking smash their head with a stone. So strength makes for more civil people because you feel more secure all the time. You're not worried about, like, oh, this person's mad at me, what are they gonna do? I couldn't defend myself if they were mad at me, so I gotta be nice to them, and I gotta undermine them in other ways, and I gotta lie, and I gotta cheat, and I gotta steal, because I can't make my way on my own and be safe and good and right. Oh, no! Oh, no. I'm just strong enough that I could deal with it myself. I don't need to be dependent on this person, so I don't need to suck up and be disingenuous and dishonest, but I'm also productive and helpful because I realize the advantages of being an integrated member of society. It's like the trapper comes down when he has something to give as well as something to take from his mountain hold, and then he goes back up when he's exchanged his goods. But now it's, you come when you can feel the pressure of your fucking landlord or whatever happening, and I just don't happen to have that happening right now because I've moved back in with family and I don't live somewhere where I'm renting anymore, so who even cares? What kind of a fucking question is who even cares anyway? Why does it matter who cares about a thing as to whether or not you do it? The person who matters in your decision-making process is really you. So who even fucking cares about whether or not society is a place where we have freedom and a place where a person can just strike out on their own and be independent? I care, because that's what I want to fucking do. And that's just about where the buck stops. Nothing can argue with me at that point. Nothing can tell me, no, you have responsibility. No, I don't. I don't have a woman I'm trying to take care of. I don't have kids I need to feed. I don't have some kind of valuable job where I'm contributing to society in any major way. I'm just Nathan, and my only responsibility is to make myself strong and to not have my neck crushed under the boot of an idiot.